Welcome. Today we're exploring the top 5 rare United States of America Monticello 5-cent coins, each valued for different conditions, key mint marks, and unique varieties that collectors actively search for. From early Jefferson nickels and scarce low mintage issues to wartime silver compositions and notable era coins, these nickels can be worth far more than face value whether they're found in circulated, uncirculated, or high-grade condition. Mint marks like P, D, S, and even special large mint mark varieties play a major role in determining rarity and collector demand. Let's get started. First up, the 1946 United States of America Monticello 5-cent coin without a mint mark, found in beautiful, very fine condition with its natural aged color. This is not just a simple nickel from pocket change. It is a coin that marked a new beginning for America after World War II and carries a powerful story in every detail. The 1946 issue belongs to the legendary Jefferson nickel series, first introduced in 1938. This design replaced the buffalo nickel and brought a more classical and presidential style to American coinage. By 1946, the nation was transitioning from wartime coin production back to peacetime standards, making this year especially significant. On the obverse side of the coin, you will see the dignified portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. His profile faces left, with liberty and the year 1946 inscribed along the rim. In very fine condition, Jefferson's hair details remain visible, though slightly worn, and the cheek and jawline show moderate but even circulation wear. The reverse side proudly displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. The building is centered with fine architectural details, including steps, columns, and windows. In very fine condition, the structure's major lines are sharp, and while some finer details may show light smoothing, the overall design remains strong and attractive. Now let's talk about the missing mint mark. A 1946 nickel without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During this era, Philadelphia did not place a mint mark on its coins, which is why you will not see a letter next to Monticello on the reverse. This detail is important because it helps identify the coin's origin. The year 1946 was the first full year of nickel production after the special wartime silver alloy nickels of 1942 to 1945. During the war, nickels were made with silver to conserve nickel metal for military use. In 1946, the composition returned to its traditional copper-nickel blend, making this coin part of America's return to normal industry. Very fine condition is a respected grade among collectors. It means the coin has clearly been circulated but still retains strong detail. The major design elements are bold, lettering is clear, and only moderate where appears on the highest points. For many collectors, very fine coins offer the perfect balance between affordability and eye appeal. The natural color of a 1946 nickel in very fine condition often shows a soft gray tone, sometimes with light golden or bluish hints from decades of gentle toning. This natural aging adds character and authenticity, something serious collectors value highly. When examining your 1946 nickel, pay close attention to Jefferson's hair above the ear and the steps of Monticello. These are key grading points. In very fine examples, several hair strands remain visible, and the building's outline is distinct even if some finer step details are worn. Although millions of 1946 nickels were minted in Philadelphia, survival in higher grades becomes more challenging as time passes. Many were heavily used during the late 1940s and 1950s, making well-preserved examples more desirable today. Collectors also search for possible errors, such as double dyes or repunched mint marks from other facilities. While most Philadelphia issues lack a mint mark, unusual dye varieties can still appear and significantly increase interest and value. The Jefferson nickel series is popular because it is long-running and historically rich. From pre-war issues to modern strikes, each year tells part of America's story. The 1946 coin stands at the crossroads between wartime sacrifice and post-war rebuilding. Another reason collectors appreciate the 1946 issue is its connection to Monticello itself. Monticello symbolizes American independence, innovation, and architectural beauty. Owning a coin that features this landmark connects you to that legacy. Value in coin collecting depends heavily on condition, rarity, demand, and eye appeal. While many 1946 nickels trade for modest premiums in circulated grades, very fine examples with attractive surfaces can command stronger interest in the marketplace. It is always important to avoid cleaning older coins. Cleaning can remove natural toning and cause hairline scratches, drastically lowering value. Collectors prefer coins with original surfaces, even if they show honest wear. Professional grading services can authenticate and assign official grades to coins, increasing buyer confidence. While not every very fine nickel requires certification, rare varieties or exceptionally attractive pieces sometimes justify the process. Coin shows and online auctions are excellent places to compare prices and see how similar coins perform in the market. Studying recent sales helps you understand realistic value ranges. The weight of the 1946 nickel is 5 grams, and it measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. These consistent specifications make it easy to verify authenticity when combined with careful visual inspection. Holding a 1946 nickel is like holding a small piece of post-World War II America. It may have passed through countless hands during a time of rebuilding, economic growth, and renewed optimism. Collectors often build date and mint mark sets of Jefferson nickels, and the 1946 Philadelphia issue is an essential part of completing the 1940 series. Even though it is not considered extremely rare in circulated grades, its historical importance and steady demand keep it relevant in the collecting community. Patience is key when searching for higher quality examples. Many coins from this era show heavy wear, so finding one in true very fine condition with pleasing color is rewarding. The coin's simple yet elegant design has stood the test of time, remaining largely unchanged for decades. That consistency adds to its classic appeal. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced numismatist, the 1946 Monticello nickel offers both affordability and historical depth. Take time to study the strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal of your coin. Small details can make a big difference in desirability. Remember that market trends can shift, and interest in mid-20th century coins continues to grow as new collectors enter the hobby. So before you overlook that old nickel in your collection, examine it closely. Its age, design, and condition might surprise you. And while most 1946 Philadelphia nickels in very fine condition are modestly priced, under exceptional circumstances such as a rare variety or extraordinary preservation, a remarkable example could reach a value of $45,000. Next up. Today we are traveling back to the late 1960s to uncover the story behind a fascinating American coin that many collectors admire but few truly understand in depth. We are talking about the 1969 United States of America Monticello 5-cent coin with the S mint mark, preserved in very fine condition with its natural circulated color. At first glance it may seem like an ordinary nickel, but when you look closer, you begin to see history, artistry, and the potential for surprising value. This coin belongs to the long-running and highly collectible Jefferson nickel series, first introduced in 1938. For decades, this design has represented stability in American coinage, carrying the portrait of one of the nation's founding fathers on the front and a historic American landmark on the reverse. By 1969, the Jefferson nickel had already become a familiar and trusted piece of everyday currency. On the obverse side of the 1969 nickel, we see the dignified left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson. His calm expression, detailed hair, and strong features give the coin a timeless appearance. In very fine condition, the high points of Jefferson's hair and cheeks show moderate, even wear, but the overall portrait remains bold and clearly defined, making it highly attractive for collectors who appreciate circulated coins with character. Turning to the reverse side, the design features Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate. The building is centered with symmetrical elegance, showing its dome, columns, and steps. In very fine condition, the main architectural lines remain sharp, though the finer details of the steps may show smoothing from circulation. The inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America remain clear and readable. Now let's focus on that important S mint mark. The S indicates that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. During the late 1960s, the San Francisco Mint produced both circulation coins and proof coins. The presence of the S mint mark adds a layer of interest because certain S mint issues, especially in higher grades or special finishes, can be more desirable to collectors. The year 1969 is an exciting period in American history. It was the era of cultural change, technological advancement, and space exploration. Coins from this year were circulating during a time when the United States was making historic achievements, including the Apollo 11 moon landing. Holding a 1969 nickel is like holding a small piece of that transformative era. Very fine condition means this coin has clearly seen circulation but still retains strong detail. The wear is moderate and evenly distributed, with no major damage or deep scratches. Many collectors appreciate very fine coins because they display history while still maintaining sharp design elements. The natural color of a 1969 nickel in very fine condition often appears as a soft gray tone, sometimes mixed with subtle golden or bluish hues from decades of oxidation. This toning develops naturally over time and adds depth and authenticity to the coin's appearance. When evaluating your coin, carefully inspect Jefferson's hair above the ear and the steps of Monticello. These are key grading indicators. In very fine condition, the hair details are visible though not sharp, and the building's outline remains bold even if the steps are partially worn. Although 1969 nickels were produced in large quantities, survival in attractive, evenly worn very fine condition can still draw collector interest. Many coins from this era were heavily used, resulting in flattened details or surface damage. Collectors also search for special varieties and mint errors. The late 1960s saw occasional double dyes and other striking anomalies. While these are rare, discovering one on a 1969 nickel could significantly increase its value and demand. The Jefferson nickel's design remained consistent for many decades, creating a sense of continuity in American currency. This consistency allows collectors to focus on subtle differences in strike quality, mint marks, and preservation. It is important to never clean your coin. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface, remove natural toning, and reduce its value. Collectors prefer original surfaces, even if they show honest wear from circulation. The weight of the 1969 nickel is 5 grams, with a diameter of 21.2 millimeters. Its composition is primarily copper and nickel, giving it durability and resistance to corrosion over time. Coins struck at the San Francisco Mint often carry a certain prestige among collectors, especially when linked to proof production. While many 1969 nickels were proofs, circulation strikes with the mint mark are also noteworthy. Market value for a 1969 nickel in very fine condition typically remains modest, but condition, eye appeal, and demand always play a role. A coin with strong detail and pleasing natural color can command a higher premium than one that is dull or heavily marked. Professional grading services can authenticate and grade coins, providing additional assurance for buyers. While not every circulated nickel needs certification, rare varieties or exceptionally attractive examples may benefit from grading. The coin collecting hobby continues to grow as new generations discover the thrill of finding hidden treasures in everyday money. A 1969 nickel could be sitting unnoticed in a coin jar right now. Building a complete Jefferson nickel set requires attention to mint marks and dates, and the 1969 issue is an essential piece of that puzzle. The connection to Monticello adds historical depth. Monticello represents innovation, architecture, and the legacy of Jefferson's influence on the young nation. Collectors value coins not only for rarity but also for the stories they tell. A circulated 1969 nickel has passed through countless hands during a dynamic period in American history. When storing your coin, use protective holders and keep it in a dry environment. Proper storage helps preserve its condition and prevents further wear. As interest in mid-20th century coins continues to rise, even circulated examples gain attention from collectors looking to complete albums or upgrade their collections. Patience and knowledge are key in coin collecting. The more you learn about mint marks, grading, and market trends, the better prepared you are to recognize valuable pieces. Take time to examine your 1969 nickel under good lighting. Tilt it gently to observe the surface and natural toning. Even a coin that seems ordinary can carry extraordinary potential when condition and rarity align. The thrill of coin collecting lies in discovery, history, and the possibility that a small piece of metal could hold significant value. And while most 1969 Monticello 5-cent coins in very fine condition trade for reasonable amounts, under exceptional circumstances such as a rare error or outstanding preservation, a remarkable example could reach a value of $45,000. Next up, the 1964 United States of America Monticello 5-cent coin without a mint mark, preserved in good condition with its natural circulated color. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary old nickel, slightly worn from years of use, but behind that simple appearance lies history, massive production numbers, collector demand, and the possibility of surprising value. This coin is part of the long-running and beloved Jefferson nickel series, which first entered circulation in 1938. The design replaced the buffalo nickel and introduced a more refined and presidential look to American 5-cent coins. By 1964, the Jefferson nickel had already become a familiar piece of everyday commerce across the nation. On the obverse side, you will see the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential founding fathers and the third president of the United States. Even in good condition, Jefferson's outline remains clearly visible, though the finer details of his hair and facial features may be heavily worn. Liberty and the date 1964 appear along the rim, and while the lettering may show smoothing, it should still be readable. Turning to the reverse side, the coin proudly displays Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia estate. The building is centered with a symmetrical design that has remained iconic for decades. In good condition, much of the fine detail in the steps and columns may be worn down, but the structure itself remains bold enough to identify clearly. The absence of a mint mark tells us that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1964, Philadelphia did not place a mint mark on nickels, which is why you will not see a letter next to Monticello on the reverse. This small detail is essential when identifying and understanding the origin of your coin. The year 1964 is especially important in American coinage history. It was a year of extremely high coin production due to a nationwide coin shortage. The United States Mint produced billions of coins to meet public demand, and 1964 nickels were struck in enormous quantities. Because of this, they are commonly found today, especially in circulated grades. Good condition means the coin has seen heavy circulation. The high points of the design are significantly worn, and many finer details have blended into the surface. However, the date and major inscriptions remain visible, and the overall design is still recognizable. For collectors building affordable sets, good condition coins can still hold interest. The natural color of a 1964 nickel in good condition often appears as a soft gray tone, sometimes with darker areas from decades of handling and exposure. This aging process gives the coin character and authenticity, something that many collectors appreciate more than artificially bright surfaces. When examining your coin, look closely at Jefferson's profile and the outline of Monticello. Even though the details may be worn, the overall shape should remain clear. Excessive damage such as deep scratches, corrosion, or bending can reduce value, so overall surface preservation still matters. The 1964 nickel is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it durability and resistance to corrosion. It weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, consistent with other Jefferson nickels of the era. Although billions were produced, certain varieties within the 1964 issue attract special attention. Collectors search for doubled dies, repunched mint marks from other facilities, and other minting anomalies. While rare, these errors can dramatically increase a coin's value even if the base issue is common. Because of the high mintage, most 1964 nickels in good condition are valued modestly. However, condition, eye appeal, and potential varieties always influence the final price in the coin market. It is extremely important not to clean your coin. Cleaning can scratch the surface, remove natural toning, and reduce collector interest. Even a heavily worn coin is more desirable with original surfaces than one that has been polished. The Jefferson Nickel series is popular among collectors because it spans many decades and offers a wide range of dates, mint marks, and varieties. The 1964 issue is a key part of completing any 1960s collection. The historical context of 1964 adds another layer of interest. It was a time of cultural change, economic growth, and significant national events. Coins from this year passed through countless hands during a transformative period in American history. Monticello itself, featured on the reverse, remains one of America's most recognized landmarks. Monticello symbolizes innovation, architecture, and the legacy of Jefferson's influence on the nation. Even though your coin may be in good condition, it still represents decades of history. Every scratch and worn edge tells a story of commerce, exchange, and daily life. Collectors often begin their journey with circulated coins because they are affordable and accessible. A 1964 nickel is an excellent example of how everyday change can spark a lifelong hobby. If you are searching through old coin jars or inherited collections, always separate older nickels by date and mint mark. Even common years can hold hidden surprises. Coin shows and online marketplaces are good places to compare similar examples and understand current demand. Prices can fluctuate depending on collector interest and overall market conditions. Professional grading services can authenticate and encapsulate coins, but in good condition, many collectors choose to keep them in albums or simple holders instead. The thrill of coin collecting lies not only in high-value rarities but also in understanding the journey of each coin. A well-worn 1964 nickel has traveled through history in a way that pristine coins have not. Building knowledge about grading standards helps you better evaluate your coins. The difference between good, very good, and fine condition can impact value. Patience and research are key. The more you learn about minting history and varieties, the better prepared you are to spot something special. Sometimes collectors upgrade their coins over time, replacing lower-grade examples with sharper ones. Even so, early pieces like the 1964 nickel often remain sentimental favorites. So before you overlook that worn nickel dated 1964, take a moment to appreciate its design, history, and connection to the past. While most 1964 Philadelphia Monticello 5-cent coins in good condition trade for small premiums above face value, under extraordinary circumstances such as a rare era variety or unique preservation, a remarkable example could reach a value of $45,000. Next up, the 1940 United States of America Monticello 5-cent coin without a mint mark, preserved in excellent condition with rich original color. This is not just another old nickel. It is a coin that carries pre-war history, timeless design, and the kind of collector appeal that continues to grow stronger with each passing year. The 1940 issue belongs to the iconic Jefferson nickel series, first introduced in 1938. When this design debuted, it marked a major change in American coinage, replacing the buffalo nickel with a cleaner, more classical portrait and architectural reverse. By 1940, the design was still relatively new, and coins from these early years are especially attractive to collectors today. On the obverse, we see the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, one of the most influential founding fathers in American history. His profile was designed by Felix Schlag, and even in 1940 the engraving showed remarkable detail. In excellent condition, Jefferson's hair strands remain sharply defined, the contours of his cheek and jawline are crisp, and the lettering of Liberty and the date 1940 stands bold and clear along the rim. Turning the coin over reveals the elegant image of Monticello, Jefferson's beloved Virginia estate. The building is centered with precision, displaying its dome, columns, windows, and steps in symmetrical beauty. In excellent condition, the fine architectural details are still visible, including clear step lines and strong vertical columns that give the coin impressive eye appeal. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. During this period, Philadelphia did not place a mint mark on nickels, which makes the blank area next to Monticello a key identifier. The Philadelphia Mint, established in the late 18th century, has produced countless significant American coins, and this 1940 nickel is part of that proud legacy. The year 1940 sits on the edge of a major turning point in global history. America had not yet entered World War II, and coins from this time reflect the calm before the storm. Holding a 1940 nickel is like holding a small metallic witness to a world that was about to change dramatically. Excellent condition is where this coin truly stands out. Unlike heavily circulated examples, an excellent 1940 nickel retains strong luster, sharp strike details, and minimal wear. The surfaces show only light contact marks from limited handling, and the overall appearance remains bright and attractive. The natural color of a well-preserved 1940 nickel often displays a soft silver-gray tone, sometimes enhanced by subtle golden or bluish hues from gentle aging. This original toning adds depth and character, something collectors greatly appreciate. When grading a coin like this, attention is focused on Jefferson's hair detail above the ear and the steps of Monticello. In excellent condition, many of the hair strands are visible and separated, and the steps show clear definition rather than blending together. The composition of the 1940 nickel is 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it both strength and durability. It weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter, maintaining the same specifications as other Jefferson nickels of the era. Although the 1940 Philadelphia nickel was produced in large numbers, finding one today in truly excellent condition is more challenging than many people expect. Decades of circulation have worn down countless examples, making high-grade survivors increasingly desirable. Collectors of early Jefferson nickels often seek coins from 1938 through the early 1940s because these years represent the foundation of the series. Completing a high-quality early set requires patience, knowledge, and careful searching. Another exciting aspect of pre-war nickels is the possibility of mint varieties. While not every 1940 nickel has an error, some collectors look for double dies or other subtle variations that can significantly increase value. It is extremely important to never clean a coin like this. Cleaning can permanently damage the delicate surface and remove natural luster. Even a coin that appears slightly toned is far more valuable with its original surfaces intact. Professional grading services can certify and encapsulate high-grade coins, providing both protection and authentication. An excellent 1940 nickel with strong eye appeal may benefit from such certification, especially if it approaches higher mint state levels. The design of Monticello on the reverse remains one of the most recognizable architectural images in American coinage. Monticello represents innovation, independence, and Jefferson's vision for the young nation. The coin collecting community continues to show strong interest in early Jefferson nickels. As more collectors build registry sets and seek upgrades, demand for high-grade early dates grows steadily. In the marketplace, value depends heavily on condition. While average circulated 1940 nickels are affordable, excellent condition pieces with strong strike and luster can command significant premiums. Examining the coin under good lighting allows you to appreciate the cartwheel effect of remaining mint luster. This rotating shine is a hallmark of well-preserved coins. Storage also plays a crucial role in maintaining condition. Keeping the coin in a protective holder, away from moisture and extreme temperature changes, helps preserve its surfaces for decades to come. Coins like this connect us directly to American history. Imagine the early 1940s, a time of anticipation and uncertainty, and consider how this small nickel moved through the hands of citizens during that era. For beginner collectors, early Jefferson nickels offer an affordable entry into pre-war coinage. For advanced collectors, they present the rewarding challenge of locating sharp, original examples. Every detail on the coin tells a story, from the elegant lettering to the balanced composition of the design. The craftsmanship of the era is evident in its symmetry and clarity. As interest in vintage American coins continues to rise, early issues like the 1940 nickel gain renewed attention and respect. Before you overlook that old nickel dated 1940, take a closer look. Examine its surfaces, its strike, and its color under proper lighting. Even though many examples exist, truly excellent condition pieces remain special and increasingly difficult to find. The thrill of coin collecting lies in recognizing hidden potential and understanding the story behind each piece of metal. And while most 1940 Philadelphia Monticello 5-cent coins trade for moderate premiums depending on grade, under extraordinary circumstances such as exceptional preservation or a rare variety, a remarkable example could reach a value of $45,000. Next up, the 1987 United States of America Monticello 5-cent coin with the D mint mark, preserved in very good condition with its natural circulated color. At first glance it may seem like an ordinary nickel pulled from pocket change, but when you slow down and truly examine it, you begin to understand why even coins from the 1980s can attract serious attention. This coin belongs to the long-running and highly collected Jefferson nickel series. Introduced in 1938, the Jefferson nickel replaced the Buffalo nickel and has remained a steady presence in American commerce for decades. By 1987, the design had already been in circulation for nearly half a century, proving its timeless appeal and strong connection to American heritage. On the obverse side of the 1987 nickel, we see the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson. His profile is calm, detailed, and dignified, representing one of the most important figures in United States history. In very good condition, the portrait shows clear wear from circulation. The highest points of Jefferson's hair and cheek are noticeably flattened, yet the overall outline remains bold and recognizable. The word Liberty and the date 1987 appear along the rim, and even in very good condition, these inscriptions remain readable, though they may show softness from years of handling. The wear tells a story of daily transactions, vending machines, grocery stores, and countless exchanges across America. Turning the coin over reveals the elegant structure of Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. The building stands proudly in the center of the reverse, framed by the inscriptions Monticello, 5 cents, and United States of America. In very good condition, much of the fine detail in the steps and columns is worn smooth, but the main structure is still clearly visible. The D Mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint has produced billions of coins over the years, and its mint mark adds an important identifying detail for collectors building complete date and mint mark sets. The year 1987 represents a stable and economically active period in American history. Coins from this time circulated widely, meaning many examples show wear. Finding one in very good condition is common, but collectors still value clean, evenly worn pieces without heavy damage. Very good condition means the coin has experienced significant circulation. The high points are flattened, fine details are mostly gone, and the surface shows clear evidence of handling. However, the coin remains fully identifiable, and the lettering and date are still readable. The natural color of a 1987 nickel in very good condition often appears as a medium gray tone, sometimes darker around the edges. This coloration develops over time through exposure to air, moisture, and contact with other coins. The composition of the 1987 nickel is 75% copper and 25% nickel. It weighs 5 grams and measures 21.2 millimeters in diameter. These consistent specifications make it easy to verify authenticity. Although 1987 nickels were produced in large quantities, collectors still search through rolls and old collections for high-grade survivors or unusual mint errors. Even modern coins can surprise collectors with rare varieties. Possible mint errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or die cracks. While these are uncommon, discovering one on a 1987D nickel could significantly increase its value beyond typical expectations. For most circulated examples in very good condition, market value remains close to face value. However, collector demand, especially for complete album sets, ensures steady interest in clean, problem-free coins. It is always important to avoid cleaning your coin. Cleaning removes natural surface texture and can leave scratches that reduce collector appeal. Even a worn coin should remain untouched to preserve its originality. The Jefferson nickel design remained unchanged for decades, making it one of the longest-running designs in U.S. coin history. This consistency makes it easier for collectors to focus on condition and mint mark differences. Monticello, featured on the reverse, is one of America's most recognized historic landmarks. Monticello symbolizes innovation, architecture, and the intellectual legacy of Thomas Jefferson. Coins like the 1987D nickel remind us that even everyday pocket change carries history. Every scratch and worn edge reflects years of circulation and use. Collectors often begin by searching through circulated coins because they are accessible and affordable. A 1987 nickel can be the starting point for a much deeper journey into numismatics. When evaluating your coin, check for major damage such as deep gouges or corrosion. Even in very good condition, a coin with even wear and no serious problems is more desirable. Coin shows, online marketplaces, and collector forums provide opportunities to compare prices and learn more about specific dates and mint marks. Professional grading is usually reserved for higher-grade examples, but knowledge of grading standards helps you better understand your coin's place in the market. Over time, as more collectors build sets from circulation finds, even common-date coins gain appreciation for their historical continuity. The thrill of coin collecting is not only about rarity but also about discovery and learning. Each coin invites you to examine its details and imagine its journey. A 1987D nickel may have traveled through countless cities and hands before ending up in your collection. Even though it is a modern coin, it represents a continuation of a design that began in 1938 and connects multiple generations of Americans. As interest in coin collecting grows through online communities and educational content, even coins from the 1980s gain renewed attention. Before you dismiss that worn 1987 nickel, take a closer look under good lighting and appreciate the craftsmanship and history it represents. While most 1987 Denver Monticello 5-cent coins in very good condition trade for modest premiums close to face value, under extraordinary circumstances such as a rare mint error or exceptional preservation, a remarkable example could reach a value of $45,000.